Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. A lot of people get confused when they're dealing with a man who acts avoidant. He looks like he don't care, like he's got ice in his veins, like nothing you do moves him. But don't get fooled. That brother is more hooked than he wants to admit. That distance, that's a front. And today, I'm going to break it down for you. 9 signs that you're living right up in his head, even while he's pretending to be somewhere else. Let me break something down to you. You ever been with somebody who just looks like they don't care? You text them and the reply comes late. You share something that means the world to you, and all you get back is a little nod, maybe a "that's nice." You start thinking, hold up now, am I wasting my time here? Does this man even see me? But here's what I need you to understand. Just because a man looks distant, don't you ever think that means he's not thinking about you. Because in reality, when he's avoidant, when he's pulling back, that's not the absence of thought. It's proof that you're all up in his head. That distance is not emptiness, it's noise, it's conflict, it's him wrestling with feelings he doesn't know how to manage. See, men who act avoidant, they play this role like they stone cold, like nothing penetrate. But I promise you, that man can be sitting across the room, arms crossed, phone face down, acting like you ain't even in his line of sight, and yet he's tracking your every move. He notices the way you laugh, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak to others. He'll act like he ain't paying attention, but later he'll bring up something small you said weeks ago. Why? Because his brain won't let you go. He's distant on the outside, but consumed on the inside. And here's where it gets tricky. He don't want you to see it. For an avoidant man, emotions feel like a trap. Vulnerability feels like weakness. He thinks if he shows you just how much you mean to him, he's giving away power. So he puts on that mask of detachment. But while he's putting up that wall, inside that head of his, you're running the whole show. You're the soundtrack he's listening to at night, even though he won't say it. You're the reason he hesitates before making a decision, because in some way, he's factoring you in. Now, some of y'all been fooled into believing that silence means he don't care. But silence, when it comes to a man like this, is full of secrets. Silence is where his feelings hide. He might not send you paragraphs, but he's reading your messages twice. He might not double tap your posts, but he's watching them every time. You're in his thoughts, even when his actions look like the opposite. And when he distances himself, don't think for a second that he's free from you. Half the time, he's creating space because the closeness is too intense for him to handle. I've seen men like this sit in a room and look cool, but if another brother even looks at the woman they're hooked on, their whole energy changes. They can't disguise that. Jealousy sneaks out, protectiveness shows up, and they give themselves away without saying a word. That's the proof right there. You don't live rent-free in somebody's head unless their emotions are tied up in you. Ladies, what I need you to catch is that distance is not rejection, it's confusion. A man who acts avoidant is trying to figure out how to balance his fear with his desire. He wants you, but wanting you scares him. He thinks if I get too close, I'll lose control. If I let her in, I'll get hurt. So he creates this space that looks like disinterest, but it's really self-defense. And if you pay attention, you'll see the cracks in that armor. You'll see the way he circles back, the way he remembers, the way he can't fully let you go. So when you find yourself thinking he's not thinking about you, check the signs. Is he still around? Is he still paying attention in small ways? Does he get quiet when the conversation gets deep? Not because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much. That's the giveaway. That man may act like he's far away, but in truth, he's closer than you know. Because he can't get you out of his head. A man can tell you a lot of things with his mouth, but if you really want to know where his heart is, you got to watch what he does. Words can be dressed up, rehearsed, smooth as butter. Actions, they don't lie. When you're dealing with a man who acts avoidant, his whole game is built on making you believe he doesn't care. He'll keep conversations short. He won't pour his heart out, and he might even try to act like you don't matter as much as you do. But if you look at what he does instead of what he says, you'll see the truth bleeding through the cracks. He's hooked, and no matter how hard he tries, he can't hide it. Think about it. He might tell you he's not the relationship type, that he doesn't want to settle down, but then he'll turn around and make sure you got home safe. He'll notice when you stress, offer to help with something you didn't even ask for, or show up when it matters most. That's not the behavior of a man who doesn't care. That's a man fighting his own feelings while still being driven to protect and provide. His words are a mask, but his actions expose him. Pay attention to the little details. He may not say, "I miss you," but why does he always circle back? Why does he call late at night just to ask what you're doing, acting like it's casual? Why does he remember your favorite coffee order, or the way you like your food cooked, or the name of the coworker you complained about 3 months ago? That's not by accident. You don't hold on to that kind of information unless someone is living in your thoughts. That man can stand there looking cold and distant, but every time he does something thoughtful, he's telling on himself. And you can always spot it in how he reacts to you being around other people. He won't say much, but his body language shifts. He'll fold his arms, tilt his head, get quiet, or maybe crack a joke that sounds playful but got a little sting of jealousy in it. That's the action of somebody who's invested, even though his pride won't let him admit it. See, his mouth might stay shut, but his movements are screaming. Another big one, consistency. He may disappear sometimes, but he always comes back. He doesn't have to, nobody's forcing him, but every time he reappears in your life, checking in, wanting to know how you are, that's an action louder than 1,000 I love yous. It means he can't walk away no matter how much he pretends he can. It means you've got a hold on him deeper than he wants to confess. And let's not forget how protective he gets. He might not openly tell you, "I care about you," but if someone disrespects you, or if you're in a situation where you need backup, he's right there. Sometimes quicker than even your closest friends. That's instinct. A man doesn't step up like that for a woman he's not thinking about. He steps up because deep down he sees you as his, even if he hasn't found the courage to say it out loud. Here's the truth. An avoided man lives in contradiction. His mouth says one thing, but his actions always betray what's real. He'll tell you he's not ready, but he'll give you a gift that proves he's been paying attention. He'll act like he's too busy, but he'll carve out time just to see you. He'll say he doesn't like titles, but he'll get upset if you treat him like just a friend. That contradiction is the giveaway. When you step back and really watch, you'll see that it doesn't matter how much he tries to hide. The energy comes through. Actions slip past the mask every single time. And those actions, they're the evidence that you're in his head, you're in his heart, and he can't keep you out no matter how distant he tries to act. You know what's funny about men who try to act detached? They think they can outsmart their own heart. They'll put on this face like nothing bothers them, like they're unshakable, like you're just another woman in the crowd. But let me tell you, emotions got a way of pulling at a man so strong he can't break free no matter how hard he tries. He'll sit there telling himself, I'm good, I don't need nobody. But the whole time, he's checking his phone to see if you texted back. That emotional pull is like gravity. It keeps dragging him back even when he swears he's walking away. When a man is hooked on you emotionally, you don't even have to chase him. His heart does all the chasing for you. He'll try to pull back, disappear for a little while, make you think he's gone for good, but then something stirs inside of him. Maybe it's a memory of your laugh. Maybe it's the way you made him feel safe when he was having a rough day. Maybe it's just that no matter how many people he's around, nobody makes him feel the way you do. And just like that, he's right back where he started, orbiting around you, because the emotional pull is stronger than his pride. See, here's the thing about emotions. They don't ask permission. A man can control his schedule. He can control his words. He can even control his facial expressions, but he cannot control how his heart responds to somebody who touches him deeply. That's why you'll see an avoidant man keep trying to create space, but then out of nowhere, he'll show up again. That's not inconsistency. That's him losing the fight against what he feels. His emotions got him hooked, and he can't switch him off like a light. It shows up in the smallest ways. He might not call you every day, but when something big happens in his life, you're the first person he wants to tell. He may not shower you with words of affirmation, but when he's struggling, you're the one he reaches for. That's not detachment. That's attachment hiding behind fear. And fear don't mean he's not hooked. Fear just means he's overwhelmed by the depth of what he feels. And let's talk about the way emotions creep into his behavior. He could be sitting with his friends, laughing, acting like everything's cool, but let your name come up. Suddenly the mood shifts. His whole body language changes. His eyes soften, or maybe he gets defensive. Why? Because emotions don't let him stay neutral where you're concerned. He can't compartmentalize you like he does with everybody else. You got a piece of him that he can't get back. And that emotional pull keeps tugging at him no matter how much distance he tries to create. Another thing, he feels you even when you're not around. He might not admit it, but he notices your absence. He feels that silence when you don't call. He gets restless when he hasn't seen you in a while. And that restlessness, that's emotions pulling him in your direction. A man who's not hooked don't feel your absence. But when he does, that means you've got him. And he knows it, even if he won't say it out loud. And that's why he keeps coming back. He can ghost for a week, 2 weeks, maybe longer, but sooner or later his emotions drag him right back into your orbit. That's the emotional pull. That's what keeps him hooked, no matter how much he wants to be detached. He might tell himself he's done. He might even try to prove it to you by staying away. But then one night, he's staring at the ceiling, thinking about you, and that pull brings him back around. The truth is, when you got a man emotionally hooked, you don't have to guess. His actions, his presence, his patterns, they all reveal it. He might not call it love. He might not put it into words, but the bond is there. And no matter how much distance he tries to put between you, that pull is stronger than his fear, stronger than his pride, stronger than his need to act cool. He can fight it all he wants, but his emotions will always betray him. Sometimes you don't need a man to sit you down and pour his heart out to know where he stands. You just need to pay attention to the little things, because no matter how hard he tries to act like he doesn't care, the truth will slip through in small, everyday ways. Jealousy, attention, checking up on you. Those aren't accidents. Those are the quiet signs that he's invested, that he's hooked, that you've got his mind occupied, even if his mouth won't say it. Jealousy is one of the biggest giveaways. He might never come out and admit it, but watch how his energy shifts when another man enters the picture. He'll act cool, try to brush it off, but his tone changes. Maybe he asks a little too quickly, "Who's that?" Or he suddenly gets quiet when you mention a guy from work. Sometimes it comes out in jokes, sarcastic little comments that sound lighthearted but carry a bite. That's not just humor, that's his pride taking a hit. See, an avoidant man hates to show vulnerability, but when jealousy shows up, it reveals that you matter to him. He wouldn't care who you talk to if he wasn't secretly claiming you in his mind. Then there's the attention he pays even when he tries not to. He can sit there looking like he's scrolling through his phone, but don't think for a second he doesn't notice what you're wearing, how you're smiling, or what mood you're in. He may not compliment you every time, but he's clocking every detail. Later, it comes out in little comments. "You wore that dress before?" Or, "Didn't you say you liked that song months ago?" That's proof right there. A man who's not invested doesn't hold on to the small stuff. But a man who's hooked can't help himself. He notices things without even meaning to. And let's talk about checking up. That's a sign he can't hide, no matter how casual he tries to play it. He'll send a quick text out of the blue, "How's your day?" or "You good?" He'll act like it's nothing, like it's just polite conversation, but what's really happening is his curiosity got the best of him. He wants to know where you are, how you are, and who you're with. Even if he doesn't ask directly, the fact that he reaches out is evidence he's invested, because men don't check up on women they don't care about. That impulse to reach out, to make contact, is his heart pulling the strings. And sometimes the checking up goes beyond texts. He might show up at an event he knows you'll be at, pretending like it's coincidence. He might ask mutual friends how you're doing. He might follow your social media closely, not saying much, but watching everything you post. That's not distance, that's quiet investment. He's hooked enough to want to keep tabs, but too prideful to admit that's what he's doing. Another little sign is how protective he gets. You could be walking together and somebody disrespects you. Watch how quickly he steps up. He'll act like it's instinct, like it just happened, but really it's because deep down he feels responsible for you. He cares about your safety, your comfort, your happiness. That protectiveness doesn't come from a place of indifference. It comes from emotional investment he can't put into words. What makes these small signs so powerful is that they sneak past his defenses. He can control what he says, he can try to manage his expressions, but jealousy slips out before he can stop it. Attention to detail shows up without him even realizing it. Checking up happens because his thoughts won't leave you alone. These are the cracks in his armor that prove he's not as detached as he wants you to think. So when you're wondering if you're really in his head, don't look for big declarations. Look for the way he stiffens when another man gets too close. Look for the way he remembers things you thought he forgot. Look for the messages that come at random hours, not because he had something urgent to say, but because he just wanted to make contact. Those are the signs that tell you what's really going on. They're small, but they're consistent. They don't lie, because at the end of the day, investment doesn't always look like poetry and long talks. Sometimes it looks like a sharp glance, a late night text, a quiet act of care. And those small signs, they reveal everything he's trying so hard to hide. One of the hardest things to understand about a man who's avoidant is the way he keeps pulling you close and then pushing you away. It's confusing, it's frustrating, and sometimes it makes you wonder if he's playing games. But the truth is, it's not about games at all. It's about fear. His fear of being vulnerable, his fear of letting someone all the way in, his fear of being exposed. That fear is so strong that it keeps him living in this back and forth cycle where he can't stop wanting you, but he also can't stop running from what he feels. When he pulls you close, that's his heart talking. That's his emotions overriding all the walls he tried to build.